Hi there, my name is Matt, and I'm excited to show you a demo of AgriWebb's individual animal management solution and how it can help you run a more profitable business, a more efficient operation, leading to a more sustainable future. Let's dive in. As you start your day with AgriWebb and your cup of coffee, you'll begin by looking at your map. The beauty of AgriWebb is that it works offline, so whether you are accessing it from the seat of your pickup or from a remote pasture, you have the ability to view your operation from 30,000 feet while also diving into the specific details that mean the most to you. You can toggle between your livestock, paddocks and pastures, and task views at the top, giving you the information you want to see. When you're in your pickup and looking at the herd in front of you, you can take a closer look at those individuals by clicking on the respective group on your AgriWebb account. By doing so, it's going to pop up details like pasture information, which individuals make up the group, as well as any pasture or paddock history. If you want to apply a record to the entire group, we're going to simply go back to individuals, select all, and then add the animal record at the bottom of your screen. Here on the left-hand side, you'll see your ad hoc records for production, life cycle, movements, and at the bottom, management records. By applying records, AgriWebb will automatically begin pulling in costs, profits, and insights into the reporting side that we'll be sure to cover later. In this case, if you fed a group of animals and wanted to record it, you'd simply select all the animals like we've done before, and we're going to add a feed record. Here we can set the date of feed, as well as view all the animals that are being fed. We can also select a feed mix from our inventory, or we can add a separate feed type like a bale of hay. In this case, let's record that we've fed 2021 second cutting alfalfa, and that we've fed 2 bales. And before, you may have just seen your feed line items value in your record books, but with AgriWebb, you can see your true cost production broken down per head, allowing a true understanding of the investments being made for each animal. If you'd like to look at a specific animal, you can go over to individuals and click on any animal from the animal list. From its baseball card, you'll see its breed, identification, birth date, weight, pedigree information, and current location. To view an animal's history, you can toggle to the history view to see all records that have been applied to it. Here's where you can also apply a record to this individual animal. In this case, let's say that you're part of a value-added program, yet you had to treat an animal. We're going to apply a treatment record. Just like your feed record, it's going to ask you to select an item from your inventory to then apply to this animal. In this case, I've selected Draxon. It's then going to initiate the treatment record, and based on the information you've input when inputting that Draxon into your inventory, it's then going to preset some of the other information as part of this record. So in this case, we'll be able to see that animal 100 is being treated. The dosage amount is 2. We're not going to have any spillage. I'm going to select this container. And then you can put any reason for the treatment as needed. By saving that down and applying the treatment record, it's going to carry over into AgriWebb's reporting, making passing audits for your value-added programs a breeze. Another powerful tool you can leverage is assigning an assumed daily gain to an individual or group of animals. In this case, we'll add an assumed daily gain record. And this is going to project an animal's weight, which will help you more efficiently plan your incoming and outgoing logistics. So in this case, if we said that this animal is going to gain 3 pounds per day as of today, we can head over to the summary, and then you'll be able to see that our weight over time has shifted. There will be a yellow line that is going to show you exactly if this animal is hitting the mark or not. If cattle prices are in a good place, this record is going to easily show you the time frame when animals are at a market-ready weight, helping you take advantage of the good prices. When it comes to chute-side data collection, an AgriWebb tool focused on efficiency is our live sessions. While most producers have a multi-step process where they have to collect the data chute-side, whether that's via pen or paper or some type of hardware, they'll still have to head back to the office after a long day to reconcile the data they've collected. With live sessions, your data is automatically added to your AgriWebb account without the need to transfer information. Think of live sessions as a playbook that mirrors a chute-side process on your operation. Things like preg checking, calf processing, and simply catching a weight are prime examples. You can easily assign a sequence of records that will be collected as animals come into the chute. Here, as I've headed over to our live sessions, you'll see our record templates here on the left-hand side. We can select any one of these, again, replicating one of the processes that I've stated before. As we dive into one of our record templates, let's say this preg check template, we're going to catch a weight. We're going to say if an animal is bred or open, and then also add a condition score. By starting our session, it's going to prompt you. You have the ability to select an animal manually, or if you have an EID scanner or a scale head that you can connect to, you also can connect to your hardware. In this case, we're going to select an animal manually, look for cow 1000. It's going to pull her up here. We can go in and add a weight, as well as say if she is pregnant or open, can set the fetal age, and then add a condition score. In this case, you can save a next and pull up the next animal or simply finish. In doing so, it's going to take all of the information and aggregate it together to show you how many animals were scanned, the average weight with your lightest and your heaviest, your scan percentage, and then your average score. If your focus for the day is managing your pastures, we're going to close out of our live sessions and we're going to head to the map and make sure we have paddock selected. You'll notice that new symbols also appear. These represent various forms of infrastructure or buildings, and AgriWebb has an array of options you can use to add to your map to truly bring your operation to life. As we dive deeper into grazing management, you can click on any pasture, and it's going to allow you to set your forage, your growth rate, and minimum feed on offer. This information, along with stocking rates, allows AgriWebb to calculate grazing days remaining as you move livestock in and out of each pasture. Having recorded animal movements and set current forage amounts per pasture, we're going to go back to the map view. You can actually change that view from your default map to something like grazing days remaining or current feed on offer. Each view is going to show you a color-coded insight specific to what you're looking at. So in this case, you'll be able to see that the dark green are areas where we have higher amounts of forage, whereas the white is going to be other areas where we don't have near as much forage, likely because we've grazed animals there prior. By using AgriWebb, one of our customers actually realized he wasn't fully utilizing his grazing lands and also realized he had enough forage on offer in an outlying pasture, allowing him to graze his animals throughout the winter instead of feeding out that grain, ultimately saving him $50,000. If you're planning for the week ahead, specifically managing the tasks for your team, you can set up tasks for your workers by toggling over to the task view at the top. Again, you're going to notice new symbols, each one representing a new task on the operation. You can easily add a task and assign it to somebody. And as your team gets on AgriWebb, those tasks will appear on their respective homepage, along with due dates and priority levels. When it comes to tasks that are location sensitive, AgriWebb's GPS location functionality allows you to easily place that exact location on your map. In this case, if you had a broken fence, you can use the GPS function located right below the green plus button, allowing you to place the coordinates for your team who needs to go and mend that fence. In this case, it's going to save you the time from explaining exactly where it's at and maybe even some fuel in your truck. Now that you've finished your day of managing your livestock, land, and team, let's throw your tablet in the pickup and head to the house and begin diving into the data. Before AgriWebb, you are likely heading back to your computer to spend hours inputting the data you just collected. AgriWebb's reporting and insights are designed to help you make more informed decisions to ultimately help you drive your business forward. Let's start with animal insights. Animal insights allow you to visually identify which animals are your underachievers and your overperformers. And it doesn't stop there. You can actually use the group by function to group animals by a specific detail, such as sire, breed, vendor, or so forth, allowing you to gain a better understanding as to why an animal may be underperforming or overperforming. And we all know as you make business decisions, whether that's selling your underperformers or keeping your stronger genetics, making the right decision can mean going from an average or poor year to an outstanding year. So in this example, I'm going to group by vendor, allowing me to see which animals were bred on operation, purchased from Jackson Cattle Company, and purchased from Smith Cattle Company. Now, again, some of these charts you'll see, it looks like it's pretty even across the way. But as I look at this average daily gains insight, I notice that the green bar or the animals that I purchased from Smith Cattle Company are not as feed efficient as those in this purple column, AKA the Jackson Cattle Company animals. So in this case, as I look at more feed efficient animals that are gaining weight quicker, I'm likely going to be purchasing from Jackson Cattle Company in the future, as opposed to the Smith Cattle Company. Now that you know more about how your animals are performing, let's dive deeper into the financial investments being made into each animal. To do so, we're in AgriWebb's reports. You can look at either current animals on operation or those you've already sold. Starting with our on-farm animal performance report, as you can see in front of you, you get a look at the various data points you've already input for each animal. So in this case, I'm curious to take a closer look at the animals I purchased from Jackson Cattle Company, knowing that they're my overperformers when it came to the animal insights. So here I've typed Jackson in our filter here. And again, it's pulling up all animals with Jackson within one of these data points. So in this case, as we take a deeper look into each individual animal, we get basic information like the visual ID, breed, sex, age class, date of birth, and then your sire and dam information. As we continue to scroll over, you have the ability to look at your purchase price and your purchase date, as well as when those animals landed on farm. Continuing to scroll, we'll see our assumed average daily gain, which is what we would have input as a record. So if thinking and we assume that these animals would gain around 2.5 pounds per day, we can then analyze and look to see if they actually gained that amount or whether that was more or less. So it looks like in consensus, these animals all look to be performing at a higher rate than we would have assumed. As we continue to scroll over, again, we'll be able to look at any of our weight predictions, first and last weights. But then truly the power of the report comes in the cost analysis section. Here you'll be able to dive into specifically how much you're investing in each and every individual animal. So here you'll be able to see our feed costs, medicine, labor, transport, as well as any additional costs that you've associated to these animals, all summed up here on the right-hand side for each individual, or at the bottom, it will sum the total amount there. On the flip side, if you're curious to see where you landed with animals you recently sold, we can look at a lifetime animal performance report. This report is perfect for seeing any profits or losses and looking at the reason behind where your bottom line fell. So in this case, I wanted to continue looking at my Jackson Cattle Company animals. It looks like I've sold 3 of these animals recently, actually just yesterday. And here we'll be able to see our sale price for the animals as well as the purchase price. Again, continuing to scroll, we're going to see a lot of information on weights, whether that's the first weight, the last weight, or the projected. Then you'll also be able to see a turnover. So again, seeing and beginning to get insight into what the profit or loss was just based on the sale and purchase price. As well as here on the end, it still carries over the feed, medicine, labor, transport, disposal, and additional costs as well, totaling those and adding those to your cost margin as well. So we'll be able to see our profit and losses. And again, it doesn't look like we made any money on these animals. Again, looking at when we would have purchased or when we would have sold them would give you any indication. You also have the ability to add carcass data. So as I scroll over here, we have our quality grade, yield, marbling score, ribeye area, and so forth. So again, giving you that full picture of the animal's life on operation as well as after it had been sold. As we round out looking at our reporting, here on AgriWebb, you'll be able to see our production records, you have movement records, any life cycle records, as well as a livestock reconciliation report. Inventory is another report where you'll be able to see your feed purchases and sales, as well as any feed reconciliation as well. And then if you're into the cropping, you can look at your cultivation, harvest, sowing, and treatment records. So if you're interested in learning more about these reports, feel free to reach out to a member of the AgriWebb team for more information on those. What I've walked you through today is just a high-level overview of what your life can look like with AgriWebb. To schedule a personalized demo with a member of our team, please click on the link accompanying this email or reach out to us for more information. Have a great day.